What's going on, Nerds and Bandits? It's your boy Noel T from the NCU channel, back at it again with another video. And this past weekend, as the time of this recording, I had went to the Royal Rumble event. And man, when I tell you my experience was so live, it's insane. With all that being said, I got a bunch of clips to show y'all. I got a bunch of things to talk about, my experience going down to Indianapolis, and I want to, of course, share this all with you. And if you like this type of content, whenever it comes to these WWE events or even things like anime conventions and things of that nature, please let it be known in the comment section below because I will be trying to go out more this year. Nevertheless, this video is going to cover a lot of things such as when I got out there, what I did while I was out there, people that I met, and of course, the Royal Rumble event and my thoughts on what it could lead to in the future. And if you like this type of content when it comes to wrestling, anime, gaming, comics, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the NCU channel, and of course share this with anybody else that you think would like my content. Doing so helps my videos get out to more people and of course helps this channel grow so that way I can make more content for you all. And hey, if you just clicked on this video because it interested you and it's the only thing that you want to see, I still appreciate you checking out my channel to begin with. But without further ado, Royal Rumble 2025, let's talk about it. So for starters, I'm not the only one within my friend group that really enjoys wrestling. My girlfriend went with me, a couple of my friends, as well as one of my content creator friends and just, of course, friends overall named Dakota. He has a gaming channel named Kid Leo, and I'll make sure to probably show it on the screen somewhere and also put it in the description down below. The trip to Indianapolis as a whole wasn't bad at all. No crazy traffic, getting there, listening to music, and it only took about 2.5 hours. We then got to our hotel, which I want to say was the Best Western, a pretty decent hotel, about 20 minutes away from the Lucas Oil Stadium. But from our location, there was like a bunch of food spots. One of the food spots we ended up checking out was this place called K-Town, which was a Korean barbecue spot. The best part about finding this Korean barbecue spot was literally the fact that it was literally within walking distance of our hotel. Like it was almost next door neighbors. And considering everything that came with the Korean barbecue, I'm not gonna lie to you, you got a good bang for your buck. It was about $35 per person. It was all you can eat, and not only did you get Korean barbecue, but you also got hot pot. Food was really good. I highly recommend if you're ever in Indianapolis, check out K-Town. But outside of course, the food and the good vibes, we then got back to the hotel, which we started watching SmackDown and playing some Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, just so we can pass the time before we actually went to sleep. Also, you know, had to get in my own WWE training in, so I went to the hotel gym with Dakota and my friend Kevlin, and we did some working out. We also met a couple of these other guys who were really big WWE fans. They were also out there for the Royal Rumble event. They also went to the SmackDown. We didn't have tickets to go to SmackDown, so we were only going to Royal Rumble. We started talking about theories, who we thought was going to win. One of the guys came down with his championship belt, and they also told me about an event that I was not expecting. So WWE usually hosts a fan meetup where you can pay to meet certain wrestlers at certain times, but across the street from that was WrestleCon. Me, I've never been to a WrestleCon, so I'm not knowing what it is, what happens with it, but they were telling me that there were all these other wrestlers lined up, showed me the link, so I looked up to see who was gonna be there, and of course, it was free to the public. With that being said, knew I had to leave that gym right then and there, give me some rest, and wake up early so I could hit WrestleCon. We then woke up, put on my WWE stuff, and we went to Waffle House. Now, for everybody who has been to Waffle House, I'm gonna let you guys know that this was my first time ever going to Waffle House, and I understand why the hype is behind it, especially because both locations that we went to were definitely packed. And of course, the food wasn't even really that expensive either, so really good food, really small, like hectic but kind of cozy type vibe, and overall just a really good experience for me. But then after that, it's time to hit the road. Started heading towards the Lucas Oil Stadium because the WWE fan event and as well as WrestleCon were like within about 5 or so minutes of walking distance from each other. So of course, you know, tried to hit all three of them. So we weren't able to get into the WWE fan event, unfortunately, because of course you had to pay for that and the line was just way too long for when we got out there. But we were able to go see WrestleCon. And that's when I met one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, my own favorite female wrestlers of all time, which was Mickie James. Man, when I tell you this is the first time I've ever been speechless, like when it comes to meeting somebody, this was insane. If you see my last wrestling video when I was talking about the women having a mid-card title, you know that I got into wrestling around that Ruthless Aggression era, which was kind of around the mid-2000s. So watching Mickie James wrestle and being a fan, seeing her go to TNA, and then afterwards actually seeing her in person, I was blown out of my mind. It hit my childhood heart. But outside of Mickie James, there were more wrestlers out there. I didn't get a chance to get pictures with them because their lines was long, but I was able to see a lot of them and talk to them. You had Matt Cardona there. The Hardys was there. Kurt Angle, Teddy Long, Dan Housen. We even had a conversation with Rikishi. And considering the shirt, we were obviously rooting for Jey Uso. But outside of that, just having a conversation with Rikishi was good. He actually pushed himself for me higher in my ranking for legends because of just like how good of a person he was. Usually when it comes to these events, especially when it comes to celebrities and things of that nature and like fan meetups, they're there to take pictures, sign autographs, of course you have to usually pay for it. And with that, they're trying to get people in, get people out, and leave it at that. Difference is though, with Rikishi, we sat back and we were having a conversation with him, and even when he was taking pictures, he still wanted to continue this conversation. He didn't shoo us away. He didn't say, okay, you got your little couple minutes, now move around. No, he sat there and told us to stand to the side so we could take a picture, but we can still have the conversation with him. And he even sat there and said that we were so good when it comes to actually having conversations that me and Dakota should start a podcast. So if that's something that you guys want to see so you can get more updates on WWE, because I don't always do a bunch of updates on my actual NCU channel, then of course, let me know in the comment section below. Definitely get that working on, and yeah, because I'm a big wrestling fan and I'm trying to hit more events and of course meet some of y'all at some of these events and do things like that. Nevertheless though, we ended up getting to the Lucas Oil Stadium. We waited outside for a good minute. We were supposed to enter, I want to say at 5:30. We didn't, but hey, it was somewhat cold, but at the end of the day, it was manageable. Nevertheless, we get into the arena and it is huge. Last time I've been to the Lucas Oil Stadium was, I want to say, about 7 or so years ago. I know I went with my family to go see a Cowboys game, which the Cowboys ended up winning. Being back there brought some nostalgia from when the first time I've been there, and then some excitement because I'm here for a wrestling event, especially one of the big 4 pay-per-views. Outside of that, we got seated, and then it was time for the Royal Rumble to start. So before I get into any of the matches, I want it to be known that there was a couple of bets between me and my friends on who was going to win each match. Basically, whoever ended up choosing the person who won each Rumble match, both the women's and the men's, the other losers would have to buy that person a t-shirt. So my picks were Charlotte Flair and Io Sky because we were able to have 2 picks. Dakota's was Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. My friend Reese was Lyra Valkyrie and Liv Morgan. And then my friend Kevlin's was Bianca Belair and Naomi. And needless to say, Charlotte Flair came out clutch for me. So I got 2 shirts coming in, and I'm going to explain why I said 2 shirts instead of 3. But nevertheless, hey, got 2 shirts coming in. Glad Charlotte Flair was able to come in clutch for me. Outside of her winning, though, I'm not going to lie to you, there was a lot of return show-ups and everything that just had us jumping out of our seat each and every time. The NXT call-ups like Roxanne Perez, Jada Parker, Lash Legends was very, very hype moments, because if you watch enough NXT, you can see the trajectory of them, especially Roxanne and Jada. So seeing them compete in the Rumble and seeing Roxanne last as long as she did was very, very top tier. And as I'm recording this, I'm remembering that one of Dakota's picks was Roxanne Perez, but that was only if Alexa or AJ Lee, because he's a big AJ Lee fan, didn't show up. So yeah, basically that's some more context. But speaking of that return, when I tell you the reason why this video is coming out as late as it is because I had lost my voice. Oh my gosh, when I saw Alexa Bliss show up, everybody jumped out of their seats, everybody screamed. You can hear my throat just go away. It's gone after that. And of course, we also saw Nikki Bella return, and that was of course really cool. At the end of the day, I think a lot of people were still hoping that AJ Lee or even Becky Lynch or Jade Cargill had showed back up. Nevertheless, it was still an exciting moment. We got to the tag team match with DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I didn't really watch this fight live, only because throat was hurting, needed some water, and I had to use the bathroom. But I did, of course, go back onto Peacock, rewatch the fight, and it was a really, really good tag team match. Of course, we see that the Street Profits interfered. Hopefully, the Street Profits are the next ones to hold the championship, because I'm tired of seeing Montez and them literally not have a championship. Like, very, very phenomenal performers and everything, and I feel like eventually we need to see them be champions. Of course, we definitely need to see Montez hold a singles belt too. Next on the list, we of course get to the ladder match with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And this match was brutal. I am a wrestling fan, and majority of my wrestling content is WWE focused, but every now and then I will dabble into the TNA, the AEW, some of the indie scenes, Ring of Honor, New Japan, things of that nature. And when I tell you in this match, you seen Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens bring out basically their non-WWE fighting, that was very apparent. Alabama slams, brain busters, almost another package power driver, going through ladders and everything. You even had Cody Rhodes take the beer from somebody and smack it against Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens grabbed Cody and threw him into the cameraman. That was just insane and phenomenal. We also, of course, in a sense, got confirmation that Sami Zayn was not going to turn heel, because everybody thought that with how Kevin Owens was getting in his ear, Sami was going to come out and try to help him against Cody, or he was basically going to attack Kevin Owens. But instead, they did this very, very tastefully, where he realized that Cody and Kevin are his friends, so he checked up on both of them. More so checked up on Kevin, though, because him and Kevin have a deeper relationship, and Kevin was the one who was hurt the most. With all that being said, though, Cody still came out as champion. One of the most disrespectful things he did was stand on top of the announce table and hold his championship belts over Kevin Owens while that man was battered and bloodied. It's a crazy scene. We're probably going to get Homeland to Cody Rhodes soon, but hey, I'm so hyped for this. And then, last but not least, we gotta talk about the men's Royal Rumble. So like the women's Royal Rumble, of course, me and my friends had bets on it, and whoever won would have, of course, got a t-shirt from the losers. So this was, of course, would have been my opportunity to get 6 t-shirts. But I didn't pick the right person to win the men's Rumble. I was close, though. I was close. So my picks for the men's Rumble was John Cena and Seth Rollins. My friend Kevlin's was CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. My friend Reese's was Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. And Dakota, he chose Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. So like I said, before I even talk about the match itself, when it comes to that bet, I, of course, only got 2 shirts at the end of the day, because since Dakota chose Jey Uso, it would have meant I owed him a shirt and he owed me a shirt, so that canceled out. So basically, my friend Reese and Kevlin, they both owe me and Dakota 2 shirts. All bets aside, this was an insane men's Royal Rumble match. The reason it was so insane was because basically everybody who was in the match, especially all the top stars, literally had a legitimate reason to win. If Roman would have won, he would have went after Cody. Punk, Seth, or Drew, they would have probably went after Gunther or probably went after Cody, but nevertheless, it would have still pushed their story. John Cena being his last Rumble and, of course, going to his last WrestleMania, that was a story in of itself. Jey Uso being Mr. Main Event himself, selling the most merch, having the crowd behind him. There was so many people that had a legitimate reason to win. And then, of course, you had returns like AJ Styles, which was like, man, I was so happy to see him back, because I was like, after him getting injured, I was hoping, I'm like, man, you can't go out like this, especially because you're closer to retiring rather than you are, still being in your prime. One of the things I wasn't expecting, of course, was Speed showing up in the Rumble. Now, I don't watch a lot of Speed content, but of course, I can still respect a content creator at the end of the day, even if I don't necessarily watch their content. And seeing him get into the Rumble, and seeing that I am a big wrestling fan as well as I'm an anime, game, and comic fan, it pushed me to a point where I'm like, I really got to make sure I get on my content grind, because, man, I want to be somebody that's in the Rumble. I want it to be where you guys who have been following me and watching me can sit there and say, man, Noel from the NCU channel made it, and look what he's doing. And of course, probably do some giveaways with some tickets, but not tell y'all I'm in the Rumble. So Triple H, if y'all ever see me, of course, let's talk, let's make some deals. But outside of that, I can say one of the biggest pops of that night outside of Alexa Bliss was seeing that man Joe Hendry show up.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's crazy is that he was supposed to be he was at WrestleCon. The crazy part about it though is that he basically left super early. That of course told to me that he was gonna be in the Rumble, but at the end of the day, you never know, because technically from the news that I've gotten updated on, Matt Cardona was backstage at the Royal Rumble as well, but he was there, I want to say up until like 3 o'clock at WrestleCon. So, hey, anything could happen at that point. But overall, it was still a very, very phenomenal night. And I'm so glad that Jey Uso ended up coming out on top at the end of the day, because he really deserves it. And overall, we took pictures, we laughed, we had fun. Throat was basically shot at that point. I had to whisper basically the rest of the night and like going the next couple of days. But at the end of the day, Indianapolis, y'all put on a show. Y'all had a crowd. This was amazing. Of course, WWE already announced that Indianapolis will also be getting a WrestleMania and a SummerSlam. We do not know when those will be, like what year they're going to actually come out here. But at the end of the day, with the crowd reaction y'all gave, I will definitely be in Indianapolis again for those two events. Now, some final takes, of course, before I end this video, and what could possibly happen next for WWE. With the way things were handled with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns once they got eliminated from the Rumble, it seems like they might be going towards a triple threat match at Mania. If not, they could possibly hash it out at Elimination Chamber, but I ain't gonna lie to you, with tensions rising with all three of them, I legitimately think a Mania match would be like so much better for them. During the press conference, John Cena had already announced that he will be in the Elimination Chamber. Me personally, I already made a YouTube short about this, or what I think John Cena should do. You guys can check that out on my page. But I don't think John Cena's going to win Chamber. I think if anything, he's going to lose. He's going to feel some type of way. And he's probably going to sit back and fight Braun Breaker at Mania and become Grand Slam champion. And then at some point end up winning the Money in the Bank and then taking whether it's the World Heavyweight Championship or the Undisputed Championship from whoever's holding it at that point, and then, of course, become 17 times, probably at SummerSlam. I would love if John Cena won Chamber and then he was the one to fight Cody, only because I just don't think that we need Roman versus Cody 3 at Mania. I feel like people be like, like they both had they lost everything and they're building themselves back up. I just don't think we need Roman Cody 3. I think Cena versus Cody would be more interesting based on the story implication and the weight of it from each side. Can Cody defend at his first Mania? Can John Cena become 17-time world champion? I think that would be like a much more crazier story. Me personally, I would give the win, if they did go with that, to John Cena, and then have Cody, of course, turn heel, get so obsessed and be pissed off that he lost his championship. But at the end of the day, we got to see what happens. We still got a couple weeks before Elimination Chamber, and then about a whole another 2 months before Mania. For the women's division, I believe that Charlotte should go after Tiffany. I know that there's rumors, she might do a Charlotte versus Rhea round 2. I just don't think we need that either. I think it'd be best if she goes against Tiffany, and of course Tiffany beats her, because I definitely think Tiffany should win. So that way you definitely elevate Tiffany even more. Outside of that, yeah, I do think that Jey Uso will be going after Gunther. Another YouTuber named Chiseled Adonis, somebody I enjoy watching. If you guys haven't heard of him, which is crazy because he is close to 1 million right now. Do go check him out. He's definitely funny. Outside of that, he brought up that Jey Uso should go against Cody Rhodes. I'm not going to lie. The way he made that argument, it definitely sounds very, very interesting. That would definitely push that mode on who should win or who should turn heel. And I also think that because Sami Zayn didn't come out and like actually straight up help Kevin Owens, that they're going to do a Kevin Owens versus Sami at Mania 2. But outside of that, again, a phenomenal pay-per-view, a phenomenal experience. Was able to see friends, was able to meet new people, have conversations with them, and overall, going to these WWE events, I was like so hyped, mainly because the community around it. I've been to football games before, I've been to a basketball game before, and of course you have fans who jump around, cheer, and boo to the other team and stuff like that. But when I tell you that a lot of the best interactions I've had have been at WWE and AEW events, it was a situation where it's like, bro, like, we're talking, we're laughing, we're putting up predictions, we're trying to make little side bets to be funny, we're jumping up when our favorite stars are either returning, new stars are appearing. It's just like such a deep community. And that's why I'm also excited to go to an anime convention, because I've never been to one before. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the same type of energy and community that's within the wrestling sphere is in the same with the anime sphere. So at the end of the day, made my post about it. I said, but at the end of the day, this was a phenomenal event. Thank you, WWE, for putting on a banger of a show. And of course, I cannot wait to attend your Friday Night SmackDown, which it should be in Chicago. But outside of that, whenever you bring SummerSlam and WrestleMania to Indianapolis, I'm going to do what I can to be there. Of course, I'm going to do what I can to be there early, because I definitely want to meet Rhea Ripley. That's somebody else I want to meet. And as well as any other superstar who's going to be advertised for that list. But with all that being said, thank you guys again for watching all the way up to the end. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share it with your friends if they like WWE. And of course, let me know what you guys think about Royal Rumble, as well as what you think is going to happen by the time of WrestleMania. Drop it in the comment section below. With all that being said, thank you all for watching once again, and I'll see you on the next one.